Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In the last video we were looking at the new economy that's being trialled on the experimental server, and we had a lot of fun with it. It was really enjoyable. I had a great time. I would love to play it again. So that's what we're doing. We've agreed with Pax that we're going to try a few games against each other. We're going to just give it a go, get stuck in, try some of the units that we wouldn't normally play, and see how well those games go, sort of, in a 1v1 environment rather than just versus the AI. It felt great last time, hopefully it'll feel great this time as well. So in terms of roster, I'm going to jump into it with just the same ability test roster we used last time. So the reason for this is that really does just give us a good feel of how it's going to work. So our early drops, given that we start with 5 leadership to sort of deploy our units, we're going to look at going for an early game Detonia almost every single time. An early game, and then the other options here are a little bit more debatable. You can choose between them, there's a bit more flexibility. But personally, I quite like the idea of Detonia and Axial Pyro being the early drops, especially seeing as they can use their abilities every single turn, the two of them plus Zax, or even just maybe a Detonia plus Peacemaker Balam, get a really early tempo head start on that sort of thing. But I feel like the damage is going to be more useful really early on. And either way, we've got a lot of other options here. So we've got Savria, who's now a 2-drop, which feels great. Quetzali, probably not as good now things have slowed down. So I might remove Quetzali here. And let's have a look at what else we want to try. Because we want to have some things that are a little bit more sort of impactful in the early game. Now, because we've got Savria here, who is also a 2-drop now, I think Drum Dancer Tali could be a really interesting addition. And on this similar sort of thing, Amplifier Bytol is now going to be significantly weaker, so I want to swap Bytol out for Antios Gauntlet and go for another ability usage here. And then we're going to swap out Defense Dome, who's another one here. And what I want to try and do is I want to try out Hit and Run. So Hit and Run is the new unit, and what Hit and Run does is Hit and Run is basically like a melee Maximus. So it's fast, it's got Ambush, which is a new mechanic, so it can be dropped anywhere on the battlefield. So this is something we saw briefly in the battlefield conditions, but this is a really interesting part. We can drop this anywhere, and it can have sort of the ability to get angles and run away again. And what I want to try this for is, because it's only 4 Cinder, and Tali is 1 Cinder, we can potentially go for a pummel Hit and Run on turn 2 onwards. So that would be really interesting to see if we can just start one-shotting units out of nowhere. So I wanted to pop this in and also be like a little crew spotlight of the new unit. We'll probably come back to this at some point and look at some new interactions, more lists built around it, but for now, this is what I wanted to try. And we've just got Shrapnel and Broken Vengeance in here for some sort of efficient later game units. The only other thing I'm trying to decide is if I want to try and fit in Blindside Resley. Now, because Blindside Resley is when you've lost all your Cinder, he gains additional attack, it's a little bit harder to activate him now. But I think, you know what, let's actually just take out Broken Vengeance and try that as well. So I'm kind of just editing this list on the fly because I want to have as much fun as possible. But this looks like what we're going to go with. I've gone for Zax just because I really like the ranged attack, although I do think Extilior is potentially great in this format. But Extilior is going to use his abilities a lot more often, especially when there's that Cinder generation, and we want to use our abilities with our crew, so we've gone for this instead. So I'm going to save this, we're going to jump into some games with Pax and see how this goes. If you like the content, please do subscribe to the channel. If you want to be one of the top supporters of the entire thing, you can go and head over to the Patreon. I really appreciate everyone that supports this in any way, shape or form. Or you can just like the video and drop a comment and let me know if you think this looks like fun, or what you think you'd try with this new system in place. So we'll jump into some games, and I'll see you there. Okay, we have found the game against Pax. We knew that was going to be it anyway, because we've obviously gone for a private game anyway. And Pax has just told me that they've got a banger of a list, so I've no idea what to expect here, and I'm really curious as to how this is going to go. But I really want to just have some fun with what we can do. I'm probably not going to try running Hit and Run out straight away, because Hit and Run is probably a little bit too of an aggressive start, given that it's only got 5 health, and if I'm not safe, just gonna die. It doesn't matter. If I'm going second, I might do, because there's always the chance that our opponent plays out something that could just die to it, and that could be quite a fun little interaction. So obviously a little bit of a slower loading time. This is still the experimental server, so don't take anything here as being gospel, but this is all things that could be heading to Moonbreaker in the future. And barring how these tests go, so far I'm feeling very optimistic about the resource system. I think it's got a lot of potential. I don't necessarily think there was anything wrong with the previous one, but to me, this does feel like a different playstyle, and maybe it has a few more options available in terms of ability units. So we're going first, and as you can see here, we start with 5 leadership. This is not Cinder. We get 3 per turn and 2 Cinder. So what we want to do, find out where Pax is hiding first of all, try and get a pot shot off. We'll take the 44%. There we go, beautiful. And the question is, what do we want to play? And I think the really fun one here is, because actually we don't have Stimburst, do we? So I'm going to go with Detonia, and I'm going to go with exactly what I said before, of maybe popping down Axel Pyro, and seeing if these can have a bit of an impact on this game. Axel probably wants... Oh. So the rope isn't here on this version. That's pretty awkward. Yeah, so they placed a mine and we didn't. That was... Oh no, they're not placing one, they used Grav Disc and we didn't. I forgot about that, to be completely honest. So now that we're getting 6 leadership next turn, we can choose a few things to do. Okay, yeah, so Peacemaker Balam is something that we absolutely expected. This is something where we were thinking... Okay, Antios Gauntlet, yeah. So obviously Lob Explosive is going to happen, but the question is, can we do that and move Balam into range as well? Probably not. But what we can do... Oh no, because we only get 3 Cinder because we missed deploying. So let's just smack this first. We missed a 66% shot. Okay, so we're going to take that angle first. I guess we move up here. We need to block this off somehow, so we're going to pop a Beatrice down maybe here. Seems reasonable for Beatrice. We can pop a Sleeper Mine down on Antios in this direction. And who's good here? Do you know what? I think they're probably relying on things going wrong. So we could potentially just play hit and run back here and force them to use... Yeah, this forces them to use Balam in this direction. Because if they don't use Balam there, they're just going to die. So maybe we should have done a few things differently here, because we're probably going to lose that. Yeah, so they're going to have to move in order to try and get multiple units with that. And hit and run is cool here. We're fast as well, so Balam can't even get away. So Balam's going for the double stun, that's reasonable. And probably just running away, and then maybe they're going to try and move block us. But that's 1 Cinder now, they've got 3 left. So they can still Grav Disc, and they can still Antios. Yep, so this we knew was going to happen. But we can get at least, most likely, some damage off here. Yeah, they can place a mine or something over here, which does the job fairly well. A Beatrice, sure. That's also fine. Yeah, and then Antios kills this. All good on the field here. So the question is, can we pull these into place? When it damages a target, refresh its move. So we can potentially just hit Zax and run away again. Okay, so they're going to blow up the mine. That is the correct choice here. Use the mine to... Oh, that doesn't blow up the mine. So doesn't that just mean that we come over here and just Grav Disc these together? And this should just kill them both over 2 turns. Sorry, kill Balam over 2 turns. Oh no, because they're now not touching. So we have to get a 50-50 here. It's not ideal, but... We'll go for the... actually, you know what? We can just use our Sleeper Mine to make something touch it. And that way Balam dies. And then we've got 3 Cinder to spend. So... Ooh, Hit and Run's got a... what's it called? Hit and Run really reminds me of the voice from... what's the film? The game called? Nier Automata. Let's place just Esley down over here. And that can be our turn. There we go, we've killed Balam. That's a really good start. Hit and Run's out of range of everything. Hit and Run seems awesome. Oh, a little bit of lag here. There we go. Look at this. Yeah, Hit and Run sounds like some of the robots from Nier Automata to me a little bit. So I'll be interested to see more of this. I love those like flame cones out the back. This would be such a fun model to paint. I'm really looking forward to seeing what people come up with this. I've already got one idea for it. Okay, so they're going to get some damage onto hit and run, but not enough, which is good. Honestly, this already feels great. I'm really, really happy with how this is going. Yeah, so they can't do anything with Antios really here, apart from, as I say, apart from just hit Beatrice, which obviously we don't hit back in this instance, but that's really not the worst. And then, okay, yep. We're not even touching it. So, okay, so they're going to place a mine here that puts us touching it, but that's fine because then Antios can't move. Their Beatrice, I think, can't quite get into range of this. Yeah, I think we're fine here. Are they moving backwards or placing a mine backwards? Yeah, they're just placing a mine, so interestingly we can move, hit the mine, then move again. So I'm not even too worried about that. Or we could also even just move up here, try and grab these two together, and then poke with Beatrice. So let's just go for this first. Get an extra point of damage for free.
Failure leads to a wiser wallop.
Do you know what? We could actually try. Okay, that's 35%, so that's almost not going to happen ever. Is there a way of doing this without grabbing our Beatrice? No. So just grab everything, see what happens. Okay, so now we can just take this clearer shot here. We could even just go for... Let's go for damage here, and then just carry on running away. Run over in this direction. We need to use 3 Cinder here. So we don't actually have enough abilities to use the Cinder. So we can't even buff up Blindside or Esley, so we need more ability units. So that puts us in a spot of wanting to play Peacemaker Balam down. And let's pop a Seeper Mine down over here. Do you know what, let's pop it here so that their mine blows up. It's going to blow up anyway, but we just put more pressure on them. And then this is going to blow up again if they don't move. So obviously this is just fine. Like, they could just shoot this and move back again. Maybe that wasn't a good choice, but we've set a little like speedy castle up here, which is interesting. Okay, so that's in range of hit and run, which is nice, but depends what they grab disc out here. They're trying to get something with crosshair, it looks like. Okay, yep, so now they've got a good crosshair angle. They can potentially kill Balam, which is, I mean, they could miss. 72% is a missable shot. And we've got a lot of other things coming their way, but Balam is definitely the most threatening here. If they place a mine first, I think we're in a good spot. Okay, yeah, so they're not going to miss this now. Okay, what's this then? Is this a scatter mine? Or a mine?
It's more scared of you.
If that's just a mine, then I'm not really worried. Because we can just trap this in place and find other ways. So Beatrice is going to take one here because we did the stupid. That wasn't clever. So we can actually just move around here, get hit and run in here, and then try and block off that angle. This is so interesting. This game feels very intricate. I don't... Okay, there's Sevria. Yep, Sevria's a good unit now. I do think the 10-unit bridge is a massive thing here. So the problem we've got here is that crosshair is actually our biggest issue. So can we spend Cinder to do so? To do something about it, rather. Or do we just go for the enemy captain? I think this could be a captain race here. So I think that's exactly what we're going to do, is start just trying to push damage in. So we'll take this. And we will move back in this direction. Actually, let's stay a bit closer.
Oh, I know the drill.
Let's Zack's over here because... Okay, and then can we spend enough Cinder? We've got 4 Cinder left. So we can spend 1, 2. We can't spend enough Cinder to get this to work. So we have to do something different. So maybe we just move Balam in this direction. And then Esley... So Esley's probably going to die normally, so we just need to hide out a bit. We've got 3 Cinders to play something, so I think we play Drum Dancer slowly. And let's play Antios. Let's give them as many things to deal with as they can. And Beatrice needs to move, so we'll just move to here to keep that block going. No Spore Puff targets, so we'll just put the pressure on them. And the shot is 5. Yep, they could hit something. Oh yeah, of course. That's how that works. I forgot about that completely. Should have placed further into the terrain there. That would have been clever. They're going to prevent some damage. They're going to kill Beatrice. Yep. So that prevents the damage from their own captain, which is the funny thing. But now they're grouping up. Ooh, maybe this hits Balam. I don't think it does. Yeah, that doesn't quite hit Balam, which means that now Balam is going to start stunning 2 units per turn. Yeah. Okay, depends what they deploy here. But I think we're in a good spot. Another mine doesn't matter. Because we can just kill the mine if we really need to. We can shoot Antios but maybe miss. They missed and we got hit back. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got a really good shot here. I mean, we could actually potentially just take out this game if we have got good movement. So it depends on how far things can move. Okay, they're blocking off the captain, that's fine. Again, we can at least get Antios in by pulling these down and then stunning both, which is interesting. So we can at least get 4, possibly minimum 6. So we grab disc both of these, possibly all 3 of these together. Let's just do that first. There we go. So Balam can come in and just go for a nice big stun here. Take all 3 of those out. We can inner energy Antios here. Go for that. Pop our Zax up, go for another 2. Pop a sleeper mine down over here. And now our SD gets the buff finally. And we can just kill this. And then honestly I think we just move hit and run over here. And for a last option, let's just pop... They're all stunned, so let's just pop shrapnel down here. Because they can't... Oh, they can move that way. Either way, shrapnel down here seems to be sensible to me. And now we've pretty much trap packs in place at 1 health. So, going to be a pretty tough escape here. We've got multiple units, all of theirs are stunned, they're not dealing with our Balam, 3 are locked up out of their 4. And we've got all the damage in the world heading their direction. Sure, we can pull it all together. We just get multiple shots through this, which is fun. And we can try and grab disc some better angles. I think Pax knows the writing is probably on the wall here. Because we can just move slightly this way and get a good angle in theory. Yeah, another mine. If they place that mine down, we just wither the mine. Yeah, we just pull them into the mine in theory. So we just grab disc this. See if the mine is in range and end the turn. There we go. Beautiful. Honestly, this feels good. Hit and run also feels great as a unit. Like, it wasn't that useful there, but it was really low health. It was high impact. Funnily enough, it's actually very similar to a captain that I suggested to one of the crew, to one of the dev team a long time ago, but as a unit version, and that's really entertaining to me because I suggested a low health, high damage, fast melee unit that can move in, attack something, and if it hits it, or in this case I think I said hits or kills it, then it can move away again depending on what stats they wanted to give it. So that was awesome. I'm going to leave this video here just at 1 game for now because I think this was really, really entertaining and I really want to hear what you guys think of this. Like, the abilities felt great. Balam felt really impactful because it didn't have a Cinder cost associated to it. Savria got to use her ability. We got to see, like, almost every ability we played got used, which doesn't happen in the current game. So really, really enjoyed that. If you'd like that, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Support me over here on Patreon if that's an option that you've got. I'd really, really appreciate it. Hit the like button on the video, but most importantly, thank you for being here in the entirety, and again, have a good day.